In this video, we're going to discuss flipping houses in St. Louis and how often is necessary. Actually, for me, the concept of flipping houses occurred probably about, maybe about 5 years ago. I actually didn't know that it was different types and different ways to flip homes. Mainly the concept when you talk about flipping homes, whether it's in St. Louis or anywhere else, it's the fact that you purchase a home, fix it up, flip it, but from a retail perspective. So, and a lot of people get that confused, as I'm sure some of you that's watching this video know, where there's different ways where you can actually flip houses, where you actually do it that way, or you can actually play the middleman and flip the paper, so to speak, on the deal. But when you're flipping houses in St. Louis, it's just like in any other market in the country. It's really no different, though every market has its unique situations and, the different people and things such as that. But it's pretty much all the same. Now, I haven't been in every market across the country, but I've been in quite a few, and same process for the most part. So it all depends how you want to flip your houses. Are you using the bank? Some people flip houses here in St. Louis where they use banks, where they actually have a line of credit set up with the bank, and they can pretty much, I guess, get money whenever they like if they have a deal. Because the thing that people don't understand is banks will give you money if that loan is secured by the property. So, I know times like now, and well, maybe previously it was more prevalent. There's a little more eyes on the bank now with all these different regulations and things of that nature. So, but you still can get a loan from the bank. I'm not suggesting that. Me personally, I don't do it. That's not to say I won't do it sometime in the future, but that's one way to flip home. Some investors actually use private lenders. That's a route that I actually haven't used a private lender myself, but that's a route I can actually see me using. With private lenders, you can get private lenders are so prevalent that it doesn't make any sense. Obviously, the lenders, they're going to have, hey, this is how we do it. And, each one is going to be unique. So they're all not going to be the same. So it all depends on how much money you want to borrow for the property and things such as that. The question I had something written down here. When you're flipping houses, whether it's in St. Louis or any other market, how long do you prefer holding on to the property before you flip it? Most investors don't want to hold on to that property for a long period of time. Obviously, why would you want to hold on to it? Well, maybe if, like in a scenario that I'm about to say now, kind of piggyback off of what I was saying about a private lender, it's probably a situation where the investor borrowed money from the private lender to flip a home. And, there's a time limit on it, that private lender has to get paid at a particular time. So an investor wants to flip that house. He don't want to have that house in his inventory for a long particular time. It's probably a 30-day window, probably a 90-day window. He has to hurry up and flip it and, get the money back to his, private lender or whatnot. And that goes the same for, well, banks are a little more, when you borrow money from them, it's really never, anything like 30 days or 60 days or 90 days, or anything such as that, because the banks work different. The banks make their money strictly off interest. So private lender, he's not going to want to have his money tied up, so he wants his money back fast. But flipping houses here in St. Louis, there's some great areas here in St. Louis where you can flip homes. I love the whole city, so I don't, I mean, I have my preferences, but some investors, they won't in this area, they won't go in certain areas, obviously the quote unquote war zones, they won't go in those areas, and that's understandable because I'm not going in too many of those areas myself. But there are also some areas within the city limits that you may think, that get a bad rap that actually has some good homes in it. And you actually have investors that go in those areas and fix them up. And if they flip those houses within the city limits here in St. Louis, or if they're fixing the houses just to cash flow them. So, and that's a scenario that you see more likely than anything, where you see an investor go in the area and they send their contractors and their crew in there and they fix the houses up and, they rent them out. You have many investors that do that. And I don't know, maybe if you're an investor and those are areas that you like to go into, or whatever areas that you like to go to when you either flip houses yourself, or if you're a cash flow investor, you can go to our website at stlwholesale.com. That's stlwholesale.com. St. Louis Wholesale Real Estate Properties. That's our website. Once again, stlwholesale.com. So you'll see that somewhere in the description or somewhere down below in this video. You will see that. There was something else that I was going to bring up. What's your average flip? I'd like to know what your average flip is. Do you want to buy in a certain area? I don't know, maybe buy a home and maybe spend $20,000 in it. As investors, we all have, before the best investors actually, before going into a property, they always want to know their numbers. So if you don't know your numbers, you will regret it. So whether you're flipping houses in St. Louis or flipping houses anywhere in any market, you definitely have to know your numbers. And, title of the video is Flipping Houses in St. Louis and How Often is Necessary. How often to flip is necessary. Obviously, it's going to be that necessity part is going to be tied to everything. It's going to be tied to access to capital. It's going to be tied to access to the right deals for your investing style. And we understand that. So also make sure you, at our website, make sure you sign up for our email list. So we have exclusive VIP email list. So if we get a deal, we'll definitely want to shoot it to you. If we already have an established relationship with you or establish a relationship with you, hey, just let us know what type of deal do you have, and you should see that somewhere in the email responder where I actually sent over an email after you signed up, where I actually ask what type of properties do you prefer, and I think there's about 3 or 4 questions. In what areas do you prefer? Those, if we establish a relationship with you and you buy it from us, obviously we're going to be shopping for you, shopping to source those deals, finding those deals that you like in those particular areas. So make sure that you go to the website, once again, stlwholesale.com. Make sure you subscribe here on this channel, this YouTube channel. Also, you should see a bell if you're watching it on the desktop. I'm not sure if you can see it on YouTube on the mobile part, but whenever we come out with videos, you can actually see the video actually be sent straight to you. So if you click that bell, it's a notification bell, should be at the bottom of the video. Like I said, I'm not sure if it's on the mobile version of YouTube. I haven't even paid any attention. I've been so busy, but there's a notification bell. Sign up to get all of our videos. So, hey, Thank you. If you're flipping houses in St. Louis, hey, let us know. STL Wholesale RE.com. Like our Facebook page and subscribe to our channel. And hey, like this video. Thank you. Hey, we'll see you in the next one.